Into it right now. This is a very, very important and interesting topic, my brother. And
yes, sir.
I can't wait to all you have to say the way you break it down. And we're going to keep banging it. The more they try to keep back the information about who we are, not just because of the physical, geographical locations of where we come from or where we are, but the spiritual plane that we should be on. We're not doing as we should do. People, when we look at Instagram, our men are using this to prop up the sisters the wrong way. When we look at the music and the rap music, the people who don't look like replace this, and we accept it as our culture, and it's not. The music is, but the lyrics that they inserted into get in our mind is not. So we got to do what we have incrementally, step by step, and drop the knowledge out there. And that is not my forte. I can do a little bit because I'm in the company of you, but this is what you do, and you specialize in this. And we depend on you, brother, to share it and bring it as no other locus or artificial would. So welcome to the show once again.
Yes, sir.
I don't have
Thank you.
You're home. Every time the father comes home and pushes a key, they don't have to say welcome. You know why? Because he belongs there. So you belong here. The call, tell me what to do. Boom, I do my part, and we're here.
Right.
So without further ado, Brother Neil Frazier, come on in and share with us the knowledge that you have.
Thank you, Brother Lance. Yes, sir. You know, it's so great to be with you today. I had been thinking about this all weekend and looking forward to now. I look forward to Mondays because I know that we are going to connect.
That's right.
And the great thing about it is, as you said correctly, is that this is a nonstop. One of the things that they did so effectively, and I call it the upload download battle. So when we're trying to download our genetic memory bank, they are uploading all of these things to fight against it. So they come together right here like that. And because we have allowed this state to exist in our culture, then these uploads are constantly coming. And it is tearing our defenses down because we're not standing as Neteru in the positions that we're supposed. And it doesn't take very many of us to do this.
That's right.
The good thing about our connection and your connection with people in the family is that you're all on one accord. Maybe not everybody, but I would say 90% of the people are on one accord. And that in itself, that power in itself is able to break through. Okay, and so, you know, this battle is constantly ongoing. And I found out something very interesting. But before I get into the presentation, I just, as always, want to thank Brother Lance. A lot of times, as I say all the time, is that we are not grateful enough for the people who open doors for us to be able to express the things we need to express in order to stay on code. And we must stay on code because the codes that are being used against us, a lot of us don't recognize it. And so we have to depend on each other to be able to keep these codes in place. And I just want to welcome everybody in the chat room. Good to be with you again today. And as always, I want to start out with a little story. This one is kind of short, but it'll lead into the point of the presentation today, which is the Black Neteru, okay, and the war on our genetic memory bank. So there were some kids playing out in a field, and you know, playing football or whatever, and they ran across a lamp. And so one of the boys picked up the lamp. He was like, "Wow, I wonder if a genie is in here." And so he picked up the lamp, and one of them said, "Well, why don't you rub the lamp and see what happens?" So he rubbed the lamp, and all of a sudden, this black smoke came out. and this black genie appeared. And so the kids were excited. They were like, wow, we've never seen a black genie before. Where did you come from? He said, I came from inside of you, and I've been locked in here for the last 400 years. So, leading into our subject today, we don't realize that what we have locked inside of us, and this is all a part of our genetic memory bank. And when you comprehend and understand the importance of this, then you will really see who you are. So let's kind of set the table here of what's going on and how we got to this point. So obviously, genetics means that we have genes that we pass down, okay, that has all of the coding inside those genes that will duplicate your genetic characteristics and traits down through the generations, okay? The mistake we make is that we only see this on the physical plane. We don't see this on all three planes of existence, which we have the greatest capacity to do. We don't see it on the psychological plane, and we don't see it on the spiritual plane. Again, because of the weapon and religion that they use to stunt us here. So I want to talk about something that is a part of our genetic memory bank. And for those that wasn't a part of the last presentation last week, each aspect of nature encompasses the creator spirit. You have air, water, fire, the earth, okay, and humans, and us, and plants, and animals. Every aspect of the creator, not what you've been taught, okay? Not that you've been taught to focus on an entity that you call a savior that has nothing to do with the creator of the universe. So I was explaining in one video that we have the sacred triangle, which is the pineal gland, the hypothalamus gland, and the pituitary gland. Well, something interesting happens when we look at this particular warfare and how this genetic memory bank attack is set up. The hypothalamus gland and the pituitary gland are the regulators of our body. And what's very interesting about the hypothalamus gland is that it is wired with the autonomic nervous system, okay? And it's also wired, the hypothalamus gland is also wired with the limbic system, which controls our emotions. So when you look at this, okay, so what happens is, this is why they continue to keep you in a high state of stress. Because when you're stressed out, okay, it affects your emotions, and then your emotions affect your hypothalamus gland. And then because the hypothalamus gland is the regulator of our organs, then this is a way in which they can constantly keep you sick. And certainly when you don't eat the right foods, it can also keep you in a state of stress. So, and the last major thing that the hypothalamus gland does is it keeps us in a state of homeostasis, or imbalance. So this is why so many people in our community, in our culture, are imbalanced, because these uploads are basically taking over every aspect of our lives. So let's talk about the Neteru, because this is something too that I came into the knowledge of seeking an answer about this. See, what Black people have to understand is that when you go against the natural laws of and principles of the Creator, you are under attack as well because it's a natural karma. So don't think, okay, just because you're Black and you have melanin and all this power, yeah, that's great. But that power can also be used against you, which is it's being done effectively right now. Um, if you look at what's going on, sometimes I like to look at the news just to see what's going on with the weather and other things in the world. Maybe once or twice a week I'll catch a story. The interesting thing is the Neteru are coming in the form of tornadoes now. And I don't wish any ill will on anyone. Let's get this straight from the beginning. But now we are in a situation where there is no turning back because the evil that has been perpetuated against the chosen people now, this judgment is coming directly at you, and there's nothing you can do to stop it. There's absolutely nothing you can do to stop it. So let's talk about the genetic memory bank. I'll give you a brief example of what it is and why it's so important. So there are three things that basically tells us what our genetic memory bank is. Number one, it's our relationship with the surroundings, our everyday environment. It's also our history. Okay. And the third thing is that it's a part of how we relate to each other on a daily basis. So every time that we interact with each other, then there is some type of energy that's created that becomes a part of our history. And so, when you look at through the scientific aspect of it and the biological aspect of it, memory is stored in our brain in a specific compartment. Okay. And there can be short-term memory and there can be long-term memory. But this particular memory is our long-term memory that we're connected with through our cosmic consciousness. Some people like to refer to it as the Akashic records. I don't, because that's a record of all interactions throughout the planet and the universe. But in our particular case, the reason why there is a war on our genetic memory bank, and I have to be careful with my words here, is that our genetic memory bank is the original energy of the universe. And I've explained this in other videos. And now that the Nibiru force is here and it's activating the Neteru, then those who are warring against this, because see, this is the real warfare. It's not religion. The real warfare, okay, has to do with them destroying our genetic memory bank. And this is why they use weapons in music, whereas we are supposed to be functioning at the spirit of Om at 432 hertz. They have our people vibrating so low that you literally have no defense against them destroying everything that's a part of who we are. And this is the major mistake that we have made. In our artwork, like with the art that you do, Lance, it's important in our artwork to show, okay, how these different experiences affect us on a daily basis, and this is passed down. I'll give you an example about this. The first sign of resurrection, okay, of Asar was, or Osiris, was what you know as the obelisk, but it's actually called, our people called it a Tekken. So they have, when people look at The Tekken now, they look at it as an obelisk. They don't know the genetic memory bank relationship between our people and the Tekken and what it represented, the black male phallus and resurrection. Okay. This is the language of nature that has been disconnected from us. And this is so very, very important. I cannot stress to you how important this is. This is why people remove our symbols. I heard something like originally there was 1,200 tekens or obelisks in Africa. Now it's less than 150. Who do you think has taken these symbols of the black male phallus and put it in their lands? I'll let you figure that one out. That should be easy. But again, and now you see the symbol of our genetic memory bank, the Tekken or the obelisk. You see it being glorified in another culture, the national monument. They have the Tekkens everywhere. But here's the point I wanted to make. Our children don't know that the first king of Kemet was the one that this represented, that this Tekken represented black male masculinity. And this is why the Neteru are coming at us, because now we are following a people who have no connection to the creator-creatrix spirit, have no connection to nature, and have disconnected you from all source energy. Now think about this for a minute. Now let's talk about not just the physical aspect of our genetic memory bank, okay, or the genes that we pass down. Let's talk about, because contrary to what you have been taught, we cannot be defeated on a spiritual level. The only thing they can do is keep giving you these falsehoods about religion, because we cannot be touched. If you're in connection with your real spirit, like Brother Lance and people in the chat room and others, they can't touch our spirit. This is why they continue to keep us stressed out and keep us emotionally stressed out. But now let's talk about the war on the psychological aspect of our genetic memory bank. So what has happened is all of the majority of the knowledge that came from you has now been hijacked. And what has happened over all of the millennia and the centuries is that in your subconscious mind and in your archetypes, what has been replaced in your genetic memory bank is you. And that's been replaced by people who have hijacked and plagiarized your history. And so now, when you try to tell this story, or we try to tell our story to generations coming after us, they're being taught that another culture was responsible for this. And even to the point where they strike out at anybody. I believe it was Kevin Hart that they cut his show in Kemet because he spoke truth. And see, this is what we need. We need our people who they have in the spotlight. And I'm not talking about the people that they're using to degrade our memory and music and things like that. They pay these same people that we've seen decade after decade with this garbage. They continue to pay them. And not only that, they continue to give them money in order to pass this down to we are in a real war. And I don't know why our people are continuing to sit back. Okay, well, I can't say that. We're clapping back now a lot with platforms like Lance and other platforms. We're hitting them back. But the problem comes is we still have the same problem where, as a collective, our people reject what we're trying to tell them. And that's because they have given you the fruit of this wicked system that you love so much that you are willing to go against the creator, okay, in order to enjoy this. But last night, I was given a warning that the Neteru is coming after our people too. Okay? They're coming after our people too. Why? Is because you're in this system. When this Titanic sinks, you're going to sink with it. A lot of us are not going to make it. And that's simply because we have forgotten our genetic memory bank. Okay, we have psychologically, okay, misplaced every single thing, okay, about us and our history, and even to this day, and our surroundings. Okay, I don't care where you go, you're going to see the fruits of how they have black people acting like a fool out here, okay, for this paper garbage, all right, putting us against each other and destroying your genetic memory bank. Now, I want to take you a little bit into the future, okay? Because they are seriously uploading all kinds of things that's going to have a major impact on our children in the future. There are a lot of our children that have no idea of what we're talking about right now, but that's your fault. That's your fault. Okay? But I guarantee you they can repeat all of the degraded information that's given to them, not just by this society, but it's given to them by you in the home. You're the one that's giving it to them. So I had to change my mindset because I was just like, what is it that, okay, take for instance with Lance, 22 years of bringing this to you about how these people have lied and manipulated us so much, and you still won't do nothing. You still won't help us build. You still think somebody's coming out of the sky in a chariot to save you. That is not going to happen. So we are at a point right now, we are at a crossroads. And this crossroads, okay, is going to separate us. And I used to think, and this is why it doesn't take a whole lot of us to effectively war against these entities. Okay, it doesn't take a whole lot of us. But the more of us that's on code, the stronger we can break the back of these people who have showed you that they care nothing about the creator, the real creator of the universe, that they want to be worshiped as a god. And they have taken you to this mountaintop and have made you get on your knees, okay, before them. Because when you're in these facilities on your knees, praying to these unknown gods, you're really praying to them. And then on top of that, you're giving them money to sustain it. My people, it's time. We're not going to survive. Our children are not going to survive, okay? I don't care how much that you use the word woke, that don't mean nothing. That's just a word. We have to put things in motion. And this is why we have to live according to the natural laws of the creator, creatrix spirit. Nature teaches us that when you do not put anything in motion, that there is a force that's coming against you that is going to steamroll you, just like what's happening with us today. So the other thing that they do, not just with religion and education, but music, expressive art. You need to be out here expressing art that tells our story. Okay, you don't need to be out here trying to draw no art for our children. Okay, that basically props up this culture and society that's wicked and that's taking them down in a deep hole. No, 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 no. Those days are over. No longer. See, the other problem is, and this has, you have been studied so thoroughly, right? Now, the majority of black people that you see with all this degraded behavior, that's not in their nature. Sit with them at night. Let Lance tell you about how many of them you hear crying at night when they locked up.
Right.
We have got to stop this garbage. That is not being a man, okay? That's being a punk. When you sell your people out for something, and these people are building you up on TV and everywhere, they putting you on YouTube fighting against your brothers and sisters with all this stupid garbage. The Neteru are coming after you first. Trust and believe they're gonna get you. Okay? Because now it's time out for this. We can't sit around anymore and just let this stuff happen and let these people just say, these are the people that represent you. These are the ones we got, on video doing all this degraded stuff. Brother Lance, I went to a Lowe's the other day. I saw something that made my guts come out.
Wow.
This kid had to be no more than 4, maybe 5 years old. But the stuff that was coming out of his mouth, I looked around at his mother, and she looked straight through me like it was nothing. And I'm like, whoa, no, please, no. I can't even repeat what he was saying here. I can't even repeat it. I won't repeat it. But guess where he learned this from? Because I immediately called somebody. And it was like, oh, this is the music they're playing in the homes. The kids are growing up on this music. I bet you they can't tell you who Imhotep is, who is the father of medicine.
Exactly.
The world's first See, this is why they are destroying our genetic memory bank. Because if you know that Imhotep is a black man, the first multi-genius in the world. In fact, Imhotep was the first human being that had a shrine that people went to and worship. Okay, the Greeks. Just like you go to church today and worship these unknown gods. But here you have Imhotep right here. And I guarantee you 9 out of 10, maybe 10 out of 10 black kids don't even know. But what they do know is this degradation of our history for a great man. They show him as a mummy in Hollywood, right? So if you ask them who's Imhotep, oh, that's the mummy. Really? That's the mummy? Imhotep is the first physician in history. Not no Hippocratic. And matter of fact, he was born 2,500 years before the person that you know as the father of medicine and who our people take this Hippocratic oath. I call it a hypocrisy note. So I told this story one time before where this doctor, and she went to Kemet with Brother Ashford Kwesi, and she saw the writings in stone. Imhotep had prescriptions written in stone. He had even the stethoscope that they use today in medicine. He had all this written in stone. And so she was crying and crying and crying so hard. And so he said, well, sister, why are you crying so much? She said, because I'm a physician. And I didn't know that Asclepius, who the Greeks worship Imhotep as a god, Asclepius. I didn't know that Asclepius was Imhotep. And she was weeping uncontrollably. She said, I practiced medicine every day. I took the Hippocratic oath. I didn't know that Asclepius was Imhotep, a black man, the father of medicine. Now, can you imagine a medical doctor not knowing, a black medical doctor not knowing who Imhotep is? In fact, he even taught like women how they can have natural birth. Okay. So these are the things, this is a part of our psychological genetic memory bank that has been lost. Okay. And this is a major, major issue for us. And I can see, brother, I can see that that day is coming when our kids are going to be, and I don't want to speak this out of my mouth. I do not. But the way that we're going, okay, our kids are going to hate us even more, because they're going to look at these other people and say, well, what did we create? Not knowing that these people have plagiarized our whole history, even the book that you love so much, which has great lessons. I believe, what's his name, Angela? She does a wonderful teaching. And see, this is how we're supposed to teach the scriptures, based on our narrative. Okay, not what these people have told you, not all this foolishness, okay, that we're running around here. You know, oh yeah, I saw the other day, they got this little, I think it was about 8-year, maybe 10-year-old black kid standing in a pulpit, man, regurgitating all this stuff, man. And I'm looking like, oh, wow, this. So, but this is the epitome of what our people think is being what they call a God, being called by God. That's what they call it, right? But no, you're not being called by God. You're being called by men and women who have established a religious system that you are being plagiarized into, that you are a part of why our community is in the state it's in. No, the gloves are off now. We're not sugarcoating this anymore. This one thing has damaged our community culture more than any other thing out here. And so when you look at the psychological aspect of our genetic memory bank, the other issue we have is the way that we communicate. So not only is it what we're speaking out of our mouth, it's also how our lives, our behaviors, our actions, all of these things affect energy. Because what you don't understand and comprehend, that as the greatest electromagnetic force on the planet, everything that you do, every action you take, has a direct effect on all of us. Even if I don't know, I haven't seen Lance, but everything he does affects me. Okay, so this is what we have to step up to this right now, because they are because they know that the Neteru has been released, and they know they can't fight against it, but they can fight against you. Okay, and then they can put you diametrically opposed to the creator and the Neteru, so that they don't have to fight. They have you fighting yourself. Now think how crazy that's like you fighting your own son and daughter. Because that's who we are. We are the sons and daughters of the universe and the planet. And you know, there's going to be a heavy price to pay, brother. I'm telling you right now. Our people are not going to escape this judgment, because we have been given so many opportunities to get it right. I mean, so many opportunities. But now I have to applaud our people who they have given all this paper money to and put in these positions who speak out against it. But here's the thing. This is why our comedians are basically the only ones that they allow and accept to do this, because they can laugh at it. Okay. But if you listen closely to some of our best comedians like Dave Chappelle, Cat Williams, they're hitting them. They can laugh all they want, but they are hitting them with gut punches. And see, this is why we have to be on code with this. Okay. Now, let's talk about how the Neteru is going to actually go into our genetic memory bank now. What they're doing is they're weeding out everything. So we know this through nature, that the weeds grow with the plants until they reach the mature stage, and then they cut down the weeds. The same thing is happening with us psychologically, that the Neteru are cutting down. They're cutting them down. They're cutting them down because they love these false gods. They're following these false gods. They're giving money to these false gods. And then they're teaching our children to bow down and love these false gods. Brother, this is not going to be something that we're going to walk out of. Okay. There's going to be a reckoning day for this. Okay. And I squirm when I think about, sometimes, brother, I be trying to close my mind when the creator be showing me stuff. I be like, and it's all, and you know, it's almost like our people. So this show that was on TV that everybody loves, The Walking Dead, right? Or Night of the Walking Dead, or whatever they call it. That's us. Those zombies you see walking and like just walking like they don't have no direction. They're dead. Basically, they're dead. Okay. And when I say that's us, I mean in a psychological way.
We understand.
That's us.
Yeah, we understand.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And so in this zombified state that we're in, okay, what happens? Okay, we're not cognizant of anything. Okay, our awareness is so low about nature. We're not aware that we are the ones that are responsible for carrying our genetic memory bank to the next generation. Not just your genes, not just you ejaculating in somebody. Excuse me, it's an adult show, right, Lance? Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
Let the words flow.
Okay.
It's true. That's right.
Okay. Yeah, not just you ejaculating in somebody, okay, but ejaculating in their mind. How about that? You're so caught up, okay, on sex and oh yeah, I did that. I hit her hard. That don't mean nothing. You got this fucked up. That don't mean nothing. Okay. And it's time for us to call out these people, bro. It's time for this to happen. We can no longer move forward like this. We cannot. So you should be ejaculating seed. The 500 million sperms that you ejaculate physically, you need to do that psychologically too. That's what you need to do. And when you do that, okay, and you connect with the psychological egg, and then that melanin explosion takes place, and then now you have created an embryo that can grow. Each one of us have this ability psychologically. How do we know this? Because it happens in nature. Each one of us have the ability, okay, to create a sperm and an egg psychologically that can fuse together and create an embryo. Now, what happens when that embryo gets in the placenta? Once you are born, then we keep dragging the placenta and the umbilical cord around in our heads. This is what happens. Okay. And because you do that, that doesn't allow you to grow. If a child, if a child, a baby, comes out of a placenta, I remember the old Charlie Brown. I think his name was Festus the Kid. I can't remember, but he used to walk around with this blanket. Okay, like you walk around with a security blanket, and so you're carrying around a placenta in your psyche, and the umbilical cord is connected to these false gods. And so now what are you going to do? How are you? This is why we don't grow beyond 2 years old psychologically. Well, I ain't going to say we, but a lot of us don't. Why? When nature teaches us that when you come out of the birthing process, then now you begin to grow. You begin to walk. You begin to talk. Okay? And once that child reaches the toddler stage where it's walking and talking, it's learning on its own. But here we are, adults, and we still got people treating us like toddlers. You're not growing on your own. You're not learning. And all you have to do is download the genetic memory bank. It's already there. But you get more satisfaction out of the wicked uploads, okay, that are coming your way. And I have to talk about this, brother, because one of the main things that's happening right now is they're taking their minds off us because we're zombies. All of the people that are over 40, they don't care about you no more. You're hook, line, and sinker. It's the children that they want. Because think about this. And I always use Dr. Amos Wilson when I explain this because he had the best explanation I've ever heard about this. In order for 8% of the world population to rule the other 92%, out of necessity, half of the 98%, I'm sorry, 92%, have to be in this. They have to be. And see, this is the other issue we have in our community, is that there are people that know, they know what they're doing, bro, because they sit down behind closed doors. I had a good friend. She was involved in some things, and she told me how they work. This is what they do. When they go behind closed doors, bro, they are planning the next phase on how they're going to get the children. They don't care about you no more because you're not a threat. You're not a threat. They can give you a new car. They can give you a title. Okay, Pastor so-and-so, or, Director so-and-so, or whatever. They can give you all these titles, and you're satisfied with that. You can walk around with your chest poked out. Oh, the white man says I'm this. Oh, really? Yeah, he says I'm that. And I have proof that I'm that because he's paying me for that. And so instead of you knowing that you're in a war and psychologically battling against this, you just sit back, or you wait till Wednesday night Bible study, or you wait till Sunday. You can go and let off all this emotional steam, not knowing that your limbic system is hardwired into the hypothalamus gland. Okay. So that means that your emotions affect the hypothalamus gland, which affects and regulates our organs. And this is why we have so many medical issues as well. You're being attacked. Okay. So the only way out of this, the only solution is, first of all, that we go back to nature. Okay. We look at the lessons of nature, and then we begin to apply them like your wife is doing. You know, and here's the thing. If we didn't have people that was giving us a blueprint would be one thing. We have people that have given us the blueprint. We have this, but we reject this. So when you reject somebody who has this gift of a netter, okay, and are using that gift to put out into the world to help our people move forward, and you make the choice to reject them, you're coming against the Neteru and you're going to pay a heavy price. No, you're not going to get off the hook anymore on this. Mm-mm. That day is over with. If we did not have a platform like LanceScurv where all these people are coming on here, revealing truth to you, okay, through your first eye, it's a beautiful mural you have there, brother. I love that because that is a part of our genetic memory bank. And all these things that they have demonized. So when you see the all-seeing eye, you know, okay, right there. When you see that, okay, you know that you have downloaded your genetic memory bank. And this is what I'm talking about. Okay, when you see that black, anything that comes out of it first has to come out the blackness. When you see that, then you know. And sooner or later, genetics tells us that this whole thing is going to be black. Okay? Eventually. You see that sun? Okay? Eventually, all of it is going to be black again. Or brown, which is the same thing. They're just descriptive words. But here's what we have to do moving forward with this issue is that we have to explode our genetic memory bank so strong that it cannot be denied. Because it's the greatest force on the planet. You're scared to use it. The Neteru or they're giving you the power to do it. But as soon as you go that way with the weeds, then boom, they coming at you. Okay? So let's talk about some specific things that we can do. Well, I'm going to point out 5 areas that we definitely should, could, and can change right now. Go through your house, change all artwork. Put real black art, buy it from Lance. See, there's nobody in this chat room that shouldn't have Lance's art on their wall. We have got to start thinking strategically. Do you know what Lance and Mrs. SCURV can do if you are purchasing their art and building up their business and platform, what that would do for Black people and our genetic memory bank? Buy the art, change everything in your house. That's the first thing we can do, because what that is going to do, that's going to immediately help the download, okay, of the genetic memory bank. But you are also going to be uploading now, and that's going to block the evil people that's been uploading all this garbage into you. But when you start looking at the ancestors, and I'll tell you something I discovered about pictures, they have energy. Pictures have energy, okay? And what they say, a picture is worth 1,000 words. So that's the number one thing we have to do today. This is something we can do today. Take all the pictures of all those other people you have on your wall, take them down. When your children walk in that house, they should be looking at Bob Marley or somebody, okay? The second thing that we have to do is stop pigeon-toeing our kids in a 90-degree. You know, again, I'm so tired of talking about religion, but we can't get away from this because it is ingrained in our psyche and in our children's psyche now, because we're the ones that are putting it in them. But the other thing I forgot to mention about artwork that happens, excuse me, is that the archetypes in our subconscious will now, the most important thing, start being replaced. So you have 99% of Caucasian archetypes in your subconscious. And this is what we have to start eating away at, okay, cutting away at. We have to. We have to. And you cannot do that, okay, without symbolic representation of your genetic memory bank. That is impossible. The second thing we have to do is we have to cut back at this demonic music. We have to. We cannot allow these people to keep playing. Okay, if they want to, if these black dudes and black women that are perpetrating this for this money that these people are paying them, then we have to cut them off. Don't let your kids listen to them. If they have made the choice that they're going to sell us out, which music is one of the strongest energy that we have, and it is part of the electromagnetic spectrum, which means it's in everything, the rays you can't even see, okay? And this music is constantly being played on the radio, constantly being played in your home, creating synapses in the brain, okay, that is fighting against you and those that look like you. This music must be destroyed. Because this music has been weaponized, okay, not all of it, okay, but the majority of our young people who have conscious music, you don't hear them. You don't see them and you don't hear them. And that's why you see a lot of them now are starting to come out and say, okay, enough is enough. We're not selling our soul to you for this paper garbage that you're giving us. And on top of that, bro, they're giving them peanuts. Imagine you building something, and they have done this throughout our history here in the Americas. The majority of inventions were invented by black men. But because they couldn't get the patents for it, it was taken away. You would be astonished at the things that were created by black people in this country and the world. But you're not talking about that. Because as soon as the kids get home, the first thing you do, they get on the TV or they get on these devices, and what do they see? What's uploaded to them? See, you know, and again, when I cut my people, I always have to bring a little honey. Okay, in fairness to our people, they have you work. That's why you have to have your own business. They have you working 2 jobs, still can't make it, 12 hours a day, still can't make it. Because every time you go up, that's what they do. They counteract that. But now, the people who are doing that and who benefit from it, they don't have to, because they can walk into any place where their cousin is or another person that's part of their culture and get any damn thing they want. And when you walk in there thinking that oh yeah, I'm an American, I can get whatever, we're supposed to get. The Constitution says I have this right. Really? See, in this country, unless you're operating from a position of power, okay, which only comes through unity and strength, you're nothing to them. Look at Ye. Look what they did to him when he clapped back. But here's the thing though. When you walk away from the system, you can't go right back to it. Okay? And you can't go right back to the people who are a part of that system that had you caught up into a spider's web to begin with. That's insanity. Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. And I have never seen somebody grow in a situation that was the reason why they were destroyed. I've never seen that. So the music has to be dealt with. We have to start coming out stronger against that music. You know, we have to. We don't have a choice. Because the other thing too is the Neteru is going to cut them. Oh, trust and believe. You're going to cut them. The third thing that we have to do is we have to change the way we express ourselves to each other. Okay? Now, you can use this N word, and this is what we have to come to grips with, right? Just like any word you use, it depends on the context in which you're using it and the content that you use to explain it. Okay? But now, if you're going to constantly use these words in a negative form, then that because our thoughts before we express them is a chemical reality in the brain. Okay. The other thing is the brain doesn't differentiate between reality and what's not reality. You do that. You're the one that causes yourself psychologically to make this a reality and a chemical reality in your brain. This is what you're doing when you're expressing all of these negative words and your energy towards each other. Okay. And your energy towards each other has a major impact on the emotional state of our people. Why do black people hate each other so much? You have to begin to look at this. So the third thing, and I'll go through the first three again, was art. The artwork, you need to take down everything off your wall today. Reach out to Lance, buy some of it instead of paying $400 for sneakers for children. Buy some of the artwork. Let the kids see it. Put it on your wall. Show them the video that Mrs. SCURV did on health and growing your own food. Because trust and believe, okay, your intake of food is going to be your downfall as well. See, these are the things that we need to be doing. Like I said, we have the blueprint, but I ain't going to say we, but a lot of our people are stuck on stupid. Okay. We're stuck on stupid because we don't want to grow up. How you going to have these 40-plus-year-old men acting like they still teenagers? Our kids see this. You can't be our kids. I have a great relationship with my son, but he knows I'm his father. Okay? With both of my sons. They know. I'm not here trying to be your friend. I can be your friend, but I'm your father first. Or one of my nephews or nieces. Yeah, we can be friends. But I'm not going to sit around here and go along with any degraded behavior and action just so I can be friendly with you. I'm not going to dress like you. Okay? I'm not going to act like a teenager. I'm not going to act like somebody in their 20s. All of these expressive behaviors, which is the fourth thing. So we have the art, which I already told you, what you need to do. You have the music, because if you're not functioning in the spirit of Om at 432 hertz, then you're vibrating below your capacity, who you are. And then that in itself affects everybody you're connected to. See, we underestimate our children because, believe it or not, Our children is the greatest force that we have, but we don't pay attention to that. All we want to do is make sure they're happy. Oh, well, let's go to McDonald's. All right, you take them to McDonald's. Oh, let's go to Burger King. Okay, let's take them there. Why don't you be teaching them how to cook? Why are they not being taught how to cook? The majority of young women today cannot cook. Why is that? That's not their fault. Or men, for that matter, men need to know how to cook too. What is wrong with you? If you look at, even if you go back 100 years and look at our genetic memory bank, you don't have to go back into antiquity. Look at how our women function. Look at how our men function. Look at the great cultures that they built. Look at what they built. They didn't have 1/3 of what we have today. They didn't have Google. They didn't have cell phones. They didn't have none of that. What they had, though, was a great connection to nature. And they used that to build. You don't need a whole lot. The other thing they had is the way that they communicated with each other, and the artwork that they had in the home, black art. I remember the old art with the big afros. Remember that, Lance, with the strobe lights? You had the parties in the basement. I know you remember. And you know, those were the good old days, man. We loved being black. You know, we operated within our culture. Well,
Right.
the other reason was too because we didn't have very much of a choice. But the good thing that came out of that is, man, black folks used to have a lot of fun. Now there is no fun no more. There is no fun no more. Okay, and so we have to move it into the fourth area is our behavior, and this is a very big part of our genetic memory bank. Because what you don't comprehend is all of that demonic music, all of that unnatural art, all of the worship of false gods, all of the worship of paper money, all of this stuff is being uploaded into your genetic memory bank. All of it right now. And so since you are not using what the creative creation spirit has given you with our real art and music and stuff, because you're not using that, then you're helping those that are working hard to defeat you. You're helping them. See, I'm no longer going to just point the finger at other people. That's like a child. That's like saying, oh, okay, well, I'm 2 years old. I don't have any responsibility in terms of my behavior. I can get out here on YouTube or wherever they go, and I can act like a 2-year-old or a teenager and play all these degraded music and do all of these negative things and think it's okay. No, it's not okay. Because in the electromagnetic spectrum, that's what's being created. You're creating this. People are just paying you to do it. So you see, they have used our own people against the creative spirit. They have used our own people. The very ones who are the guardians of the universe. The very ones who are the original people who populated the whole world. The very ones who established the first language, the Neteru. The very ones who have set everything that you see in the Western world came from you. I don't care how much these people plagiarize this stuff on TV. Okay? So you better start understanding who you are, because we're running out of time. We're running out of time, literally. Because if we don't, it's going to become a day when our kids are going to totally turn against us. Why? Because the Neteru is going to turn them against you. Because you continue constantly We continue through our behavior, and this is the fourth one I was talking about. Our behavior. You cannot go out here and act like a mindless brute, okay, and expect no consequence. There is a consequence and karma to every single action that you take. Every cause, there is an effect. So if you think you're out here in these streets, and Tupac was right, all eyes on me, all eyes are on black people. They have to be. See, you don't know the power that you have, but the eyes are on you, but look what you're giving to the world. You, black man, black woman, who are the guardians of the world, look what you're giving to the world. That's not what we're supposed to be giving to the world. No, no, no. These are not the seeds that we're supposed to be planting. Okay? And so psychological seeds, believe it or not, are as strong as anything else. Okay? And now that we're on this plane and it's a full out blown war, you have to start weaponizing the things that are going to help us in this war. And the main thing that you have to begin to do is to look at your behavior. Because the kids are learning from you. I don't care what you say. They're looking at your behavior. They're looking at your behavior on TV. They're looking at your behavior on YouTube. They're looking at your behavior everywhere you go. Because again, all eyes are on black folks. Because you have a light that have you ever seen when you cut on a light at night and all the bug zappers? You are a sun. You are drawing this in. Okay. But now you take your sun energy and you take your electromagnetic energy and instead of using it to uplift our people and the creator system, you say, no, I'd rather get it from these people over here that have taken me to the mountaintop and I got on my knees before them. That's who you follow. And again, I can't say this enough. Black folks, a reckoning day is coming for us, okay? Simply because we are responsible for the planet. I don't care what nobody tell you, because they have all these resources and all this money, all that's going to be taken. The Neteru is going to destroy all of that in your lifetime. Okay? And just like the playing field was leveled recently, a couple years ago, okay, it's going to be really leveled. Okay? But you got to be ready for it because they're already planning. They got survival kits. These people meet 2 or 3 times a week. Who do you think they're planning against? Who do you think they're talking about? But when you wake up and you realize, oh, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. This is where my mind's supposed to be. Let me remember who I am. Let me remember what's in my chakras. Let me remember what's in my root chakra. Let me remember what's in my crown chakra. You have a crown on your head. You got 12 neurons here that nobody else has. They ain't gonna tell you that. Melanated neurons. Why have you given your power away? And more importantly, why is it that you're afraid to be who you are? You have been given this power. The fifth thing beyond behavior, okay, is we have to start building with each other. Okay, we have to do this. There's no reason why our kids. Now, I want to bring a very important point up about this. Our kids are so divided on so many fronts. Are you listening to the kids? Okay, they're divided. Okay, now that hurts us more than our kids, more than any other kids. Because remember now, these other kids, they have resources, they're connected. The people that are dividing you and telling you to pull yourself up by your bootstraps and stand on your own, that's not what they do. They tell you that. That is not, that's part of the psychological warfare. That's not what they do, bruh. They put all of their resources together to make sure that they build something that you can't have. And so when you go to them and ask them for it, well, they might give you a little crumb. They might. But why are you asking for crumbs when you the damn cake? You just have to look at yourself differently. You got people putting the icing on your cake, and you're satisfied with that. I don't want no vanilla icing on my cake. I don't want it. I want a chocolate cake that I can enjoy without any icing on it. And why do you have to put icing on the top? See, all of these things are directed towards you, and you can't see it because you're so caught up into this foolishness. When they put that white icing on that cake, that's a psychological ploy against you. Okay? But you don't see this. Our great ancestor, Dr. Francis Cress Wilson, taught us about this. Okay? How they use pool. How in order to win the game, the white boy has knocked the black ball in the hole. Do you think that's a coincidence? And then the symbol of the gun with the black balls, that holds the future of the world. But you don't want to see yourself like that. And I wonder why. Like Malcolm said, who taught you to hate yourself? Who? I know the answer to that. I know you know the answer to it too. But now that we have this knowledge, and this is what I want to say. I want you to hear me real good about this today. Now that the Neteru is released, they're looking at everything you do because they know you have this knowledge inside of you, but you're rejecting it. And they're going to come down on your head. Because, see, they're not going to let us lose our children. Contrary to what you think, they're not going to let that happen. It can't happen. But the struggle for our children is going to be so hard. Okay, each generation is supposed to make it easier for the next generation. Now, I also heard, I believe it was Dr. George Frazier say this. He said that our generation, the people that are over 50, is the first Black generation the generation coming under them will be worse off. You see? And the reason they're going to be worse off because we haven't built anything. But they're going to have to go to these same people and beg them. First of all, AI is going to take over all the jobs. This is what they're planning. And because we're not planning a counterattack. Have you ever seen anybody at war that don't plan counterattacks or offensive attacks? You're either going to do one or two. You're either going to plan an offensive attack, because these people don't play defense, they play offense. Okay? But you're playing defense, okay, all of the time. And you can look at sports. You look at a football game. If that defense is on the field too much, the other team is going to eventually start scoring because the defense wears down. If the offense is not scoring, if we're not scoring, our defense, which is our generation coming under us, is going to be worn down. But you don't see this. So now what are we going to do? Now that the cat is out of the bag, now that these people are not hiding the fact that they're coming at your head, what are you going to do? Lay down? Give up? See, the problem is not that we don't, again, We have the blueprint. We have the blueprint. We have the money. But you're giving it all away to the wrong people. And this is why they hate us so much. Is because, why we hate each other so much is because they have taught us that we're fighting against each other. That your battle is against another black person. No, it's not. Because black people don't have no resources. You can fool yourself all day long. You can ride around in a new car. Okay. You can do all these things to fool yourself if you want to. Okay. We have what it takes to win this war. But we're not, but right here, we have what it takes. Now, I want to talk about something too that's very important in terms of the planet and our positioning on the planet. If you notice, they are scattering black and brown people everywhere. Okay, so you don't have a home base like in most cities. The way it used to be, are people you could go and say, "Oh yeah, that's a black community." Or you go into the city, first thing you say, "Where the hood at? Where the neighborhood at?" You can't do that now. You can't do that now. So your strength has been diluted in that sense. But now, because we operate on three planes, on not just the physical, but on the psychological and the spiritual. And I believe I told Lance this one time that black people, because we have telepathic ability, we don't actually need a physical place, although we do. Let me say it another way. We do need a physical place where we have our own stores, our own hospitals, what have you. Okay. But we also need a psychological connection. Okay. And what that means is that you should be, I spend a large portion of my day looking to see what other black communities are doing, or black people are doing, or organizations or businesses, just to see how we can contribute to that, how we can help say, oh yeah, well, I know, one of the things that AI has done for us is exposure. So in that sense, yes. But you have to be careful too now, because we're in the psychological warfare that we're in. It's about coding. Okay. And so the coding that everybody else is on code but us. Everybody else is on code. People can laugh in your face all day long. Hey man, you want to go have a drink, or you want to go have dinner, blah, blah, blah. And you sitting at the table, thinking that you have arrived and all this. You have no idea that you are prospering from the death and destruction of your own people, and then sitting with the enemies of your people and having dinner and drinks with them. This time out for this. So this is what they're planning right now. Okay. They are planning. This is why they don't want certain things to be taught in the school system. They are planning to cut off our genetic memory bank here from our children. Okay. They are planning, because they got you. That's all you focus on. Jesus. That's all you focus on. And then when you walk out those facilities, I call them death traps. When you walk out of that and then you look around where you live, do you see Jesus? No. Do you see liquor stores? Yeah. Do you see Korean nail shops? Yeah. Do you see Arab-owned and Indian-owned hotels and stores? Yeah. You see an Arab church? Maybe Indian church? No. So what is it? What is it that you don't get? I like somebody to tell me that because I'm totally confused with this nonsense. What is it that you don't get? Okay. What's keeping you from connecting with other Black people and trying to come up with some kind of game plan and strategy to better yourselves? And why are you not communicating on that level? Why is it every time that you communicate with another Black person, it's about bitches and hoes, excuse me? Or who, or thug life, or I'm a gangster. You ain't no gangster because real gangsters don't do that. The real gangsters you never see. That's nonsense, man. We got to get out of our community. We are the guardians of the planet. You're not a fucking gangster, okay? You are a leader in your community, and stop teaching our children this nonsense, bringing them down because you are in a zombified state. No, this is not going to work anymore, okay? You're not no thug. You're not no gangster, okay? Why are we not building any schools? Why are our greatest young minds being pigeonholed into rap? Where are the next Black engineers? Where are the next Black architects? Lance, I believe you're an architect, right? Like you have that skill. Where are they? Where are the next Where are our medical doctors? Where are our nurses? These people are killing you now. When you go to the hospital, they're killing you. Maybe you could strike that. Let me put it this way. When you go to the hospital, ain't nobody going to bend over backwards for somebody that's been eating pork and fried food all their life, okay? And they're looking at your organs, which are worth 100 times more than you are to them because it's got melanin, okay? Now, have you ever wondered why melanin pills is the largest pharmaceutical pill sold in the world? You didn't know that, huh? It's time to wake up. Because we're not woke, contrary to the words that we use. Okay, we are awakening. Some of you are awakening. And even though you're going to be left behind because now I want to move into the spiritual aspect. This is why I said they can't touch us there. That's why they keep you focused on this. Because your real spirit has such great power that it can move mountains, literally. That's how great your power is. But because you're following a system, a 90-degree system that was built by people with a calcified pineal gland, which you need to understand, you cannot follow these teachings. You cannot continue to regurgitate these lies. And now we're at a point where you can't even, or some people can't even know the difference between a truth and a lie. And then the kids are while you have to counter this at home is, why don't you go and sit in a classroom one day? Go do that. Just go take off one day and go sit in a classroom and see what they're learning, see what they're being taught. You're not in there. There are no pictures of you. There are no pictures of you in the books. There are no pictures of you on the walls. I went to an elementary school the other day, just went up, said hi. Can I talk to a social worker? No. You have any kids here? No, but these kids are mine. These kids you see, they're mine. And see, this is what our people, there was a time when if you did something, your ass is going to get beat, and then you're going to get sent home and you're going to get beat again. But what did they do? You can't touch your own children now. Because if you do, they're going to lock you up. They took that power. Okay? So now you're scared to even talk to your children, okay, about something that they have done that's wrong. It's a cruel world out here. And there's nobody with no sympathy for them when they go out here. Get out, okay? Don't just be going out having fun. Get out, look at the situation, what's going on in our cities. Talk to some of the young people. But you have put all of our hope and future into what you call faith, into all of these other institutions that don't even represent you. Go walk in one of those schools and see what you see. You cannot continue to turn a blind eye to this stuff. Now on the spiritual plane and our genetic memory bank, what they're doing is they're replacing information. So when you're downloading their information. And because you don't talk about our people, then when you're downloading our genetic memory bank, and when the archetypes that are already in our subconscious mind are not you, then you got a problem. Because trust and believe, they are severing that umbilical cord. They are severing it. And I'll never forget something that blew me away. I went one day, I had a call from one of the principals I was working for, and this was a long time ago, but I remember this like it was yesterday. And he said, "Hey, Frazier, I need somebody to go over here. Can you substitute for one of my teachers for me?" I was like, "Yeah, okay, no problem." So I go in the classroom, about maybe 25 students. 20 of them were black. 3 of them were white, and 2 of them was Latino. And this was a time before, a lot of Latinos started coming to this country. And I asked the question for a book report. I said, okay, how many people know who Maya Angelou is? Or Alice Walker? How many people know these great black women? All 5 of the white kids raised their hand. 2 of the black kids raised their hand, and 1 of the Latino kids raised their hand. I was so embarrassed. I was so hella embarrassed. And so I had to let the white kid who knew who Maya Angelou, I had to let him read her damn poem. None of the black kids knew the poem. Bro, this is what we're fighting. But they knew who the #1 rapper was. No, they knew a whole bunch of rappers. Okay. The other thing too is that when we see our kids out here, okay, you can't be scared to talk to them, man. Like when we were growing up, one of the things that kept us straight is not just my brothers, but guys that were our baseball coaches, football and basketball coaches. They stepped to you like, "Where you going? You're supposed to be. Why aren't you in school? Or why are you not going to the boys' club? Or why are you not going to the YMCA? What you doing out here on the corner?" See, this is when we were the guardians of the planet. Now we're afraid of our kids. Don't want to even say nothing to them. Don't want to talk. All these. When matter of fact, sometimes we see them, we get scared of them because what has been perpetrated about them. I don't get scared of them, but I'm just saying, I know a lot of people do. Soon as they see black kids, they look at them like they are terrorists, when we know who the real terrorists are. Okay? Our kids don't have the ability to bring drugs in this country. We don't have the ability to bring guns in this country. Who's doing that? And why are they looked at as the enemy, as the criminals, which they are? So if you want to continue to go down this road And don't believe that the Neteru are coming after you. Keep doing it and see what happens. And my brother, with that, I'm gonna go in. I know I was kind of going in a little bit, but
you good,
you
man?
want to have people?
Yeah, let's open up the lines. Let's see who wants to come in.
Okay.
And share a word with you. We have powerful people listening, watching, and I'm just watching the comments. And this is just so powerful across the board. And I'm glad people watching this particular show can see not only is the speaker man with great knowledge, but those who are listening and watching, which means that if they're there, they're connected to other power. You see what I mean?
That's right.
So,
so
77 people who are out with 79 now watching, which I know it'll be more as time accumulates. I'm just glad that you're here just to absorb this. So, let me drop
and
this
even if
link
it's
in
5
here.
of them that get it, that's what matters the most, right?
Right. So if you want to come on in and say something, I just dropped the link into the chat room. Click on it. You can hide your video if you want. You can share your face. You can bring the audio, whichever, and just echo or bring your own viewpoint on what our powerful brother has said here for a while before he goes, because I know he's a very, very busy man sometime. And that's good because you're getting stuff done. My feet don't touch the floor until I know what I'm going to do that day. And usually the night before, or 2 days before, I know what. See, I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing on Friday. So when I wake up, my feet hit the ground. I hit the ground running.
Exactly. Man, that video that you all did at the town center was awesome, bro. I enjoyed that. I like to see, because you have to counteract. Lance, you're doing a great job with that, man. You and your wife, because see, our people, rather than seeing the truth, they like other people tell them what the truth is. Africa is very powerful.
Yes.
Africa is very powerful. And that energy from there, man, is powerful. We need that here. Because our people have forgotten who they are.
Wherever I go, my cameras go with me. Wherever I go, my cameras go. I keep. I got 2. I got these over here, and I'm ready all the time. Batteries charged. Mic ready. Everything ready. Keep it with me. So we going to the market.
That's the way to roll, brother.
That's right. All different types of stuff. Everything waiting. I got over there like this, right? So I'm strapped.
Wow.
I'm gonna do my part. I'm gonna bring it to you. We didn't even know we were actually going there, and we didn't know it was going to be open. So
it wasn't planned.
Where we had the carvings and stuff at the Bree Art Center. We saw it. So because we got off there to walk to the gardens, and the reason why I didn't have the garden showing was because they had a function there, and it was so much music. But what I should have done is just recorded it anyway and knocked the music out, because I would have got a copyright strike. They've been doing that to me a lot. So I got to be shrewd in how to record, and the music that cars driving by, YouTube will pick up on that. They already give me copyright to music way back in the day. They're looking through everything, like the IRS. And like I said, everything we do here goes on other platforms anyway, so they can drop bombs. I'm on a gazillion platforms across the internet, and they can't stop anything. You know what I mean?
Right. So
come on in and hit the link. So no. I have made up my mind. I'm going to tell you from now. I'm saying it now, and I'm going to say, remember when I said it? You saw the tour of the house and the tour of the yard with Mr. SCURV. I am putting this exact symbol on the side of the house to the road, where when you drive by off the mountain, you look down, and it's going to be big. It ain't going to be no little thing. It's going to be probably 8-9 feet across. I'm going to have the same black strip. I'm going to have the house painted in white. I'm going to have the same black strip with little symbols on it, but that big eye of Horus like that. And the other side too. That balcony mountain. So everybody who looks over the mountain and sees those houses, they'll be like, what is that? Because there's a church on the other side. See where I'm going with this?
That's the black church, man. That's the black church, bro. That's the real black church.
I'm going to replicate.
You might have to put on a robe. You might have to put on a robe and build, build a deck out the back like a pulpit and stand up on the deck.
I'm in that balcony anymore after we finish everything. And do it.
Yeah, that'll be like the rooftop.
It'll be the same thing. Same concept. Yeah. You'll see it, and it'll be the real thing. Yeah.
Have a black robe on, a black book in your hand. That's talking about Peter and Paul.
That's right. She'll be out there too. Probably. She'll be out there too, harder than me. Something going on.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but
for sure,
it ain't gonna be something to copy the European thing. It'll just be a place that we have. It'll be, we have top now, but when I get up there, we're gonna make it visually powerful and something good, and we're still gonna allow everybody to come on in. You know what I mean? And show those visuals. Trust me, I'm gonna have it decked out. Trust me, I'm gonna have it decked out. Wow. Question here. Rainbow Light Warrior. She says, does Mr. Frazier have anything about the brown RH people? And still, if you want to come in, Rainbow Light Warrior, come on in. And you don't have to show your face if you don't want. I dropped the link again. And there it is. Click on it. In. Yeah, so also we have, a way to reach and contact him directly on the bottom scrolling across. Cash App, you have to support him right here. And I made the correction, brother, so I had it wrong. Wrong typo is when you do Cash App. That's the wrong place.
Yeah.
But
I mean, it's a reason for everything.
Yeah.
It's and I just want to say to the people, it's not about the Cash App. It's good when you get support to help you do things, because you can't. Everybody is always, if you're trying to do anything, you got to pay for it. It's, unless you know how to do it yourself. And so I, like you, I use the money to further the academy, our curriculum, and be able to expose people to more. And, one of the things too is that if you look at how they have structured the school system now, I was looking at another curriculum. They are isolating our children into these, like they used to do in special ed. So they would have a bunch of our kids. They used to, what's the term they used to use? I can't think. It was so long ago. But it was for the black men. Some of the black boys, they were saying that they had a behavior disorder. When really what I found out is that they were bored. They would finish their work real quickly, and then they'd start throwing airplanes around the room and spitballs and shit, like just bored.
Well, I'm gonna tell you what they did with me.
Okay.
But from young, I would always master what they gave me, and I had energy. So they said I was active. They said and trying to say
hyperactive.
Yeah, hyperactive.
So they didn't try to put you on Ritalin, did they? Because they put a lot of our boys on Ritalin.
They suggested different things to calm me down, and my mother was very conscious, and she rejected it, and she questioned the school board and everything. Why you do? Because she was a firebrand in her own right. You see?
I remember you talking about that. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, your mom was. Yeah.
Yeah, she came up in this era and was alive today, which she is through. The way she can go she would go in, not we're talking yelling and screaming, but know how to research, know how to get the right people and sit down and talk to them in a way that they almost like lost their own consciousness and got up and did what she wanted them to do. So they begged for her to bring me to these testing sites where they would do simple, but not really simple. They were looking deeper into me and who I was and other children like me. They were given what seemed to be simple tests. This started out, and we're talking 5 and 6 years old, where you
that's when they start.
exactly try to put square pegs in round holes or different things to see how we were on a cognitive level. And I was always they couldn't understand how they would have series of numbers, and I had to figure out the pattern of these numbers. You see what I mean? And they were amazed at how really quick, and they would say, "Oh, you know, I went from being hyperactive to a gifted child. Oh, he's a gifted." That's the term.
I'm glad you brought that terminology up because that's what happened when they started finding out black kids like you. The special ed department, of special ed division, of special ed came up with this department called gifted and talented, because a lot of black parents start saying, because special ed is really just a wing of the pharmaceutical industry, because they try to get all of them on Ritalin. And I think I've mentioned to you before, the kids you see smoking a lot of cigarettes on the corners in the cities, they are the ones that they put on Ritalin, like they, you know, when your age at the time you were talking about. But see, there's a book called The Magical Child, all right, where our kids are so much more advanced, bro.
They don't like it.
No, they don't like it. As a matter of fact, it was I believe it was a Nigerian baby that was able to recognize, and he was like, oh, less than 10 months. Okay, he was able to recognize his name, recognize his parents' name. He was able to choose different toys that they had names for, you know, and the females and the little girls. They walked like almost a year quicker than European babies. Okay, so the gross motor skills of our kids are, you know, excellent. They are superior. That's what I want. I don't like the word superior because they have hijacked that word, you know, and ain't nothing superior about that. But yeah, man, our children. But now I'm glad you brought that up, because this is another area that they have weaponized against our children. So now our kids don't have, like you, they can look at something because they're kinesthetic learners, like from doing. That's, you know, that's how black kids do stuff and learn. Because real learning is not being able to retain and regurgitate something. That's not real learning. All they're doing is repeating something that you told them to do. And this is why I always believed in student-centered learning, because I would rather a child come with their own narrative than explain it in the content of what we're talking about. That means a whole lot more. And see, they don't want you to think like that. Yeah, they don't want you to think like that. They want you. So the other thing they used to do, they would say, okay, a kid would come up with the answer, and they would say, oh, well, you're not doing it correctly. This is not how we want you should arrive at the answer. No, it doesn't matter how you arrive at the answer. The fact is you have the answer. So what they found out was that because of the third eye, or the first eye, and the pineal gland, that our kids could bypass the synapses of the brain. This is what confused them. And this is why they have, the majority of teachers today are white women. So this is why our boys are having so many issues, because our boys are kinesthetic learners. They you know, they just want to do. They don't want to hear. Our kids can look at something. You ain't even got to say nothing, and they can figure it out. Okay? You ain't got to give no directions or instructions or nothing.
That's why they didn't like me.
Exactly.
From young.
Exactly.
Let me tell you, these white women teachers should not be getting anywhere near our children, especially white Jewish teachers. In New York City, Miss Finkelstein.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah.
Rubinow, Miss this, Miss that.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Their role is to look over the horizon of that classroom, and just like when you look over the wall and you just cut it a couple days ago, but there's something springing up another blade of grass that's growing faster. And that's their job, is to look over the horizon. And that's the first line of their defense of us in the system. They want to identify the gifted and children and target them. Like, there's when you got to watch out.
Exactly. Exactly.
You're going to turn this in a different way. Their talent is here. We're going to turn them over here. You see their brilliance. Our system won't be able to defeat them. We got to discourage them in their spirit. Better if they can get them over. They have too much energy.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you know, they indoctrinate, like schools are basically just farms to indoctrinate the kids to go into these factories and to work for these corporations. They don't want these kids to be independent. They don't want them to think independently. They don't want them to solve issues and problems on their own. No, they want you to solve problems and issues the way they solve it, which is from a 90-degree angle. Our kids can solve issues on a metaphysical and a physical plane. But they're penalized, like you were saying. They're targeted, and then they're pigeonholed. And then what they do is they destroy their record. They'll find something. Oh, well, they're hyperactive, like you were saying. They try to say about you. They'll find something, ADHD, and they'll find something.
Right. They're mad at that energy that doesn't come from their weakened state. How can these children have so much energy, and if they latch on to the right thing, they're going to be geniuses ahead of time, which they're already geniuses. And this is why when I look back at America, I despise it. I despise the system. And I'm angry at the part that got me a little bit. Like, okay, we didn't know everything all the way. Our parents knew most of what, but there's still parts that got me. It's like you have a outfit on and you get into a fight with a pig. You might beat the pig, but now you got all over your outfit. You know what I mean? You won. I won and got out of America thinking the way I'm thinking, but what if I caught on 30 years ago? Right? You know what I mean?
But did you really win? Right.
Yeah, so now my mission is to maximize my time and what I'm doing and super focus. And even though it's late in the night, I can still get a knockout. So that's why I don't play. That's why this is a thing for me. Because I despise.
Well, that's what I was getting ready to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I was going to say that when we are netters and we're chosen like you were, that's all a part of shaping what your purpose is. So a lot of times we don't understand it. We don't comprehend it. And all the people around us don't comprehend it. And they're pulling us in different directions. That's why people like you, people are always coming at you. Okay, because they don't realize that they are being used by a force that they have no comprehension of, because you're a Nibiru and a netter. And so that energy they'll use your own family against you. Whatever they have to use to stop you in your tracks, they will.
As they
trust and believe.
As they have. But like I said on the earlier recording, for me now, any negative force has showed their ass. And now there's bumps on the highway. I can put the pedal to the metal and go full speed ahead. Now, what can they, and who could they bring to me? They would have to manifest up there to scare me, and that's not going to scare me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If it's something, I got fist for that. But if something spiritual, my spirit is going to be more powerful. My mind is going to be more powerful, and keep on going. Because just like when you know something is fitting right and you're putting something together and it clicks and it's firm in there. I heard my click a while ago, and I'm not going to stop what I do. And look at you, my brother. You doing this and learning this and being this for so long that you can sit up here without a script and just talk something that's so nutritious to our souls and fascinating to us, not in the form of some decadent entertainment, but fascinating because we craved, and you know when you're hungry for something, but you just don't know what it is, and by chance go into a and sit down and eat, and as you eat, you feel the nourishment hitting you, and you know this is what you always needed, and now you keep on coming back to that, and now you go get your strength beyond measure. And so that's what you are, you know. So like I said, in any time, just text it to me, tell me the title, I'll go here and I'll cook it up and we'll get it ready. That's what I'm here for. So you state my existence. You who are here, my existence. You know?
Well, you know, as long as I know you're not like John Wayne Gacy, you good. You ain't got no boys up under you. You ain't got no boys up under your house.
No.
Oh man, that's so crazy, bro.
I mean, for real. Wow.
You know, you can clown and have a good time and not try to destroy nobody, you know?
Right.
Well, brother, I got to get out of here. If nobody's
Thank you.
Yeah, I enjoyed. Thank you, man. I enjoyed the talk today, and I'll hit you up same time next week. And let's keep pumping, man. Take your foot off the brakes.
Well, you know, I don't brakes at this point. I'm gonna keep on going. So anything get in my way, it's gonna get run over. You know what I mean? I don't even have time.
Hit and run.
Yeah, hit and run. Exactly.
Okay.
But somebody before you go, I'll hit it, put it in reverse, and roll over it again and jump up and down.
Right. Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
So yes.
All right, my brother Lance. Have a good day, man, and give my best to Mrs. Scurv and the people in the chat, and I'll talk to you again soon, brother.
Much love, my brother.
Much love.
All right. Peace. All right, everybody. We're gonna maybe hit the conference line for a little bit. And I'll be there for a little while. I'm doing some stuff over here. We're going to hit that twice. We have Positively Angela coming on at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here. I got to make the link up for that. But if you want to join, we can chat a little bit in the conference room. You know, we could do that. I'm loving it. Oh, this might be my official background. I love this thing. I'm going to paint this in real life and y'all going to see it. You're going to say Lance really did that. So let me run. I'm going to go right to the chat room. The number is there. And we're going to continue on. And it's all good. Peace.
I take pack to the lung, kill the stress to the head. I'm trying to do more for the soul, way less for the bread. Oh yes sir. I take pack to the lung, kill the stress to the head. I see the things that they do way less than they say. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Can't be a real, might get you canceled. The whole system need to dismantle. Coppers treated like the utmost wanted. Trying to rule the block but don't know what goes on it. News got a story with a new take on me. Carrying out the window with the screw face on me. But I know that God love me when my burn 95 degrees and I can't get sunburn. Wonder when your government don't make me legal. Burn the whole city if I can't be equal. Get off my please, Brad, I earned that. 400 years, how you still ain't learned that? I take pack to the lung, kill the stress to the head. I'm tryna do more for the soul, way less for the bread. Oh yes sir. I take pack to the lung, kill the stress to the head. I see the things that they do way less than they say. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Shout out to the trying to gentrify the genre. Tell them free my middle finger to your honor. In the days coming down the seconds on the timer. Goofy still trying to purchase that designer. About to buy, learn to grow my own food. Cause I don't like the look they give me in the Whole Foods. And when you stay ready, you ain't gotta get ready. But it ain't on me now, I'm limping cause my heavy. But ain't sweet, think we thin. My whole attitude on MC Ren. It's my neighborhood now, Bob, I bought that. 400 years, how you still ain't caught that? I take pack to the lung, kill the stress to the head. I'm tryna do more for the soul, way less for the bread. Yes sir, I take pack to the lung, kill the stress to the head. I see the things that they do way less than they said. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out.
to take the dead into Why are we called Negroes? Why are we deaf, dumb, and blind? Why is everybody making progress, yet we seem to be lagging so far behind? Why are we mistreated? Why are we in this condition, stripped of our names, our language, our culture, our God, and our religion? Here in America, all of our religious training has been gotten by the preacher. He has told us of a heaven way up in the sky that we can't enjoy now, but rather after we die. But all of the years that we're living, for us there's nothing but hell, pain, torture, and misgiving. Yet the Bible speaks of a heaven filled with material luxury, which the white man and the preacher has right here, so we see. So my friend, take it for what it's worth. Your heaven and your hell is right here on this earth. So let's check back into history, which rewards all research and tells us plainly. Before the white man gained entry to the East, he was living in the caves of Europe, a ravenous beast, eating flesh raw, till God sent Moses to civilize him and teach him the law. Then, following Marco Polo, an explorer, he gained entry into Asia and Africa. From China he took silk and gunpowder. From India he took jute, manganese, and rubber. He raped Africa of her diamonds and her gold. From the Mideast he took barrels of oil untold. Raping, robbing, and murdering everything in his path. The whole black world has tasted of the white man's wrath. So my friend, it's not hard to tell. A white man's heaven is a black man's hell. Before we came to America, we were living in the East. By the Nile River, we were living in luxury, enjoying freedom, justice, and equality. We wore silken robes and slippers of gold. We were the wealthiest and the wisest people, I'm told. Now we are the poorest of the poor. Nobody wants us at their door. So my friend, it's easy to tell. White man heaven is black man hell. When the white man came to America, he told the Indian, I am your white brother. He said, red man, I'll treat you the best. Yet and still he pushed the Indian further west with his white woman and firewater. With tricks and lies he stole America. The original owner of this nation is cooped up on a reservation. So my friend, it's easy to tell. White man heaven is black man hell. He needed someone to work the land. His back was too weak. He needed you, black man, so he commissioned Sir John Hawkins to commit the world's most grievous sin, to take a man who's born to be free and bring him down to slavery, to sell a man as merchandise, on his body put a price. Oh, my friend, it's easy to tell. White man heaven is black man hell.